In this example, I'm going to show you the kind of equations that have a square, square root, cube or cube root, because some of you may not know how to handle. So when you see square, square root, cube root, then what is the method? So the first one is when you see a question with a square, can you see it's a x squared equal to 9? So when you see your x squared equal to 9, the method is to square root both sides. The method is to square root both sides. Okay, but there's actually something that you will need to know. When we square root, there are two possible answers. There is a plus minus. Okay, so let me show you the answer first and why are there two answers. So when you square root, it removes the square. So that's why you're left with an x and you're left with plus minus 3, meaning there can be two answers. Okay, why are there two answers? So you can think backwards. You can try thinking backwards. So if you got a 3 square, you can return the number here. So 3 square will be 3 times 3. That gives you a 9. So the reason why it can also be negative is because negative times negative also have given you a 9. So there are two possibilities that can give you answer 9. So that's why there are two possible answers when we take square roots. So that's something very new to all of you, having two possible answers. Okay, and the reason is because positive numbers, if you square, you get positive. Negative number, when you square, you also got positive. Okay, since I'm on this question, I'm going to show you a sample kind of question that a lot of people will do wrongly. So I'm going to show you what if your x squared is attached to a number. So for example, like this, 2x squared equal to 25. Okay, a lot of people, they will do the square root. So I got a lot of people, they will give me like this. So in a way, they kind of take square root. Okay, so that is totally wrong. If you want to take square root, you got to isolate the x squared first. That means you need to get rid of the x. You need to get rid of the number. So you need to get rid of the number. So in this case, in order to get rid of the number, I'm going to divide by 2. So after I divide by 2, I get 12.5. Then I do the square root both sides. So you will get two possible answers. Okay, so in this situation, you don't get a very nice answer, and most students will feel that I'm thinking my answer is wrong. But in actual fact, it is like this. So you may be getting not nice answer. Because sometimes the number that you square root may not be nice enough. Okay. So when you got a square, the next question deals with a cube. So if you got a cube, you are going to take a cube root on both sides. So you kind of take a cube root on both sides. So when do a cube root on both sides, you get y, and you can punch calculator, you get a 2. Okay, if you take a cube root, there are no two possible answers. Okay, reason because if it's 2 cube, you get a positive number. But if it's a minus 2 cube, you actually get a negative answer. You get a minus 8. So the only way that you can get y cube equal to 8 is y is equal to 2. Okay, so taking cube root doesn't have the two possible answers, only for square root. Okay, then what happens when there is a square? Okay, so what happens when there is a square root? So like part C, there is a square root, right? So you square both sides. squaring will remove the square roots. And directly you gotten your two answers. Okay, so that's about the idea. So if it's a square root, you square both sides. If it's a square, you square root both sides. It's kind of like reverse of each other. Okay, so for example here, there's a bigger square root. So there is a bigger square root. A very big one here, you go and square both sides as well. That will remove the huge square root. So you kind of free up the algebra inside the square root. Then you go back to your basic method. You can do a +1 on both sides. After that, you do a divide by 2 on both sides. So you get the answer. Okay, where else? If let's say that's a cube root, so in the situation of a cube root, there's a huge cube root here. So you cube both sides. You go for the cube of both sides to free up the cube roots. So you free up the algebra inside. Okay, once you free up the algebra that's inside, you repeat your method. You do the +7 on both sides. Then you do the divide by 5 on both sides. And that will be your answer. Okay, so this is what happened when you got square roots, cube or cube roots in algebra question. Are there questions like this? Right? Yes. So that's one of the more difficult ones. So that's how we deal with the equation when we see square root, cube or cube root.